Welcome back to the page. My name is Kendrick, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the page. Like this video, it truly helps me spread the message, but then also helps me grow the page. So today's topic is all about ending the cycle of trauma. So what do I mean by ending the cycle of trauma? If you think about it, and if you look at some families and some of the traumas that kids go through, those traumas sometimes come from parents, that come from their parents. And then if you also look at epigenetics, sometimes there are traumas that come from our ancestors. So why is it important to end the cycle of trauma? One of the reasons to end the cycle of trauma is many of us will get married, many of us will have kids, and we want to make sure that we don't pass some of the traumas that we've gone through in our youth over to our children, who will then there's a good chance that our children will pass those traumas on to their children. So I'm going to leave you with 3 tips that you can start doing today to break your cycle of trauma. And I see this a lot where people will blame things that their parents did on their shortcomings. You'll hear sometimes, well, my mom always called me this, that, and the other, or my dad he was too tough on me and didn't show me love. I understand those are different forms of trauma, but we all have the ability to come out of those traumas and understand those traumas and grow from those traumas. We have to stop using what our parents did as an excuse of why we can't grow or why we can't put the work in. So again, 3 tips on how to end the cycle of trauma. Tip number 1 is tell your story. There are many different ways that we can tell our story and things that we've gone through in life. One of the best things that I've learned this year is journal. You can journal and you can express the feelings that you have in your journal, express what you feel, but then also you can manifest what you want to be. It's so important that we get the things that we need to get off of our chest. And sometimes people don't want to share them. I understand that. That's why I'm giving you the option or the tip of journaling. You can keep it in. You can keep this journal to yourself. You can allow other people to read it. The other thing is you could also share your story with people that are close to you. Sometimes a best friend is somebody that you can share that story with. Somebody that's going to be trustworthy and not go out and tell those things to other people. Tip number 2, learn about your trauma. This is one of the best ways that you can end your cycle of trauma is by understanding what triggers you. Understand where the trauma is coming from. But most importantly, learn why the trauma is affecting you the way it's affecting you. Sometimes it can be the partner that we attract. Sometimes it's the partner that we date. Sometimes it's how we treat other people. So learn, understand your trauma. And tip number 3, I say this always, always, always. I'll probably say it until the day I die. Go to therapy. I know it's a scary thought to think about as far as going to somebody, a stranger, and sharing some of your deepest, darkest secrets. But there is so much growth in going to therapy, especially for us men, because us men don't like to talk about a lot of things. I should say generally us men don't like to talk about a lot of things. Going to therapy, at least for me, was one of the best investments that I could have made in my own personal development. I'm telling you, when you go to therapy and you talk through some of the issues that you may be going through, but then also you learn and understand why these things are affecting your life the way they are, there is a tremendous amount of growth in going to therapy. So I challenge you all to go to therapy. So again, the 3 tips: share your story, whether it be journaling, sharing it with a close friend. Tip number 2, learn and understand why you have trauma and where it's coming from. And tip number 3, go to therapy. It may be one of the best investments that you could ever make for yourself. So as I always mention, let that marinate. Think about it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Until next time, I'm out.